Good morning. This is a coaching video for a self-massage routine that I'll be teaching on Monday mornings from February 2022. For all details of online Qigong classes and related classes, please go to my website www.qigongcoach.net, and my name is Sally Ibbotson. So for this self-massage routine, which is great to do in the mornings to wake the body up, to have a relationship with the body before we start anything, it's good to have obviously a comfortable chair, and sometimes it's better to do it without arms. But if you have a chair with arms, then shift forward to the front of the chair so that you've got some free movement in the shoulders and elbows. So just start off by centering yourself in your position and use the connection between you and the chair to really bring yourself into the present moment. Feeling your tailbone descend into the chair, chair coming up to support you, floor underneath the chair. Maybe also feel your feet on the ground. And just watch the normal breath, the normal rhythm of the breath, moving the body wherever it is. And then let's focus on the hands, the main tools in Qigong and also in this self-massage routine. So warming up the hands if they're cold, but let's also tune into them. So often in life, especially nowadays, we wash the hands, we put gel on, and we don't really think about them. But let's make this a conscious, nourishing experience for the hands. So really say thank you to them. Let's add some gratitude for what they do, for their wonderful design. And then let's tune into the feeling of one hand moving against the other. There are many nerve pathways crossing here, blood vessels, and energetic meridians as well. Studies of musicians have found that each finger relates to a different part of the brain. So we're really affecting the nervous system with our attitude of gratitude, and also paying attention to the sensory world that our body affords us. So we'll work through a few points, and the Chinese medicine landscape of the body is beautifully poetic. So in the centre of the palm here we have a point called Palace of Toil or Palace of Labour. So it's called a palace. It's a royal point, and it's used in acupuncture and acupressure to calm us, to calm what we call the Shen. And so it's in the centre of the palm, and in terms of this self-massage we don't need to be accurate, but just give some attention to the centre of the palm. You might hold it for a minute or for a moment. And just acknowledge that this is a point that can calm us down. It's only necessary to do one side, but let's do the other side. Let's get a little bit more specific. So in the web between the thumb and the index finger, we have an area called Joining Valley. In translation, Joining Valley. And in the middle of that web, and again, no need to be specific, just give it some attention, is a point that descends the energy. So it's good for headaches, migraines, where the energy is said to be too far up. It's also good for constipation or any acid reflux, so for descending. Joining valley. Keep the shoulders relaxed, and if you need to rest for a moment and release any tension, then please do. Let's go up to the wrists now. Find the wrist crease and go up a little bit, and very gently massaging that area or holding it, whichever is more comfortable. Here we have two gates, one on the inside and one on the outside, and they're literally in translation called inner gate and outer gate. So inner gate, you can rest the hand down perhaps, you can hold it if that's more comfortable. It's to do with settling ourselves inside, so it would be around nausea or some kind of lack of settlement in the stomach or digestive system. It's also good for morning sickness. So it's like our inner immune system, the gate. And then on the outside is outer gate. Outer gate. So again, find the wrist crease on the top of the hand and come back a bit. You can do this through clothing, or through clothing is actually a little better in Chinese medicine. So this is outer gate, and this is one of the main points of immunity, protecting us against extremes of climate. I'm just going to swap over pathogens, viruses, etc. And again, tuning into the sensation and being like a scientist. What's the difference between this massage between the index finger and the thumb and here at the wrist crease? Really listening to the music, the different tones of the body. Let's move up to the elbows now, and we're going to focus on a point. Here's the elbow crease, and where it shows, where you can see the outside edge of the crease, that's roughly where this point is that we're going to work. In translation, I'm going to use my thumb. This is called Cubit Marsh. So we've gone from the palace through the gates. There's a joining valley here, and we're coming up into marshland, or if you like, a moat around the palace, perhaps. Anyway, this point here is on the lung channel. It's very good for clearing phlegm. So it's called a marsh, which suggests damp already. And actually in medicinal terms, it's a good point to clear phlegm. And I often find myself in the morning clearing my throat after I've worked this point. It may be tender, so just go with whatever's needed. We can also give the whole of the elbow a bit of a rub. Let's do the other side. All these junctions of the body, again, have many crisscrosses of nerves which relate to acupressure points. There are often important lymph nodes there. Lovely. And then let's just give the shoulders a bit of a rub. And the back of the neck, a little bit of a rub as well. Relaxing the shoulders for a minute. Let's make loosely clenched fists and wrap one hand around the other. So it doesn't matter which hand you're using, but you've got a little massage tool there with your two your two hands together. And take that to the solar plexus area. If you know it, the xiphoid process. But basically, here's the rib cage, and it's where you might assume your stomach is. That's broadly speaking where it is. And let's just do a little bit of circular massage there. And please do cough and sigh, make noise. And this is called turtle dovetail. You can massage it one way, massage it the other. At the moment we're not being specific about direction, and it's also good to hold it. And once again, this is good for descending the energy. So often, more often than not, we're too much up in the head, or we're up in the head. That's how we're designed. And so this is an opportunity to just drop down. So many of these points are to do with descending the energy. This is particularly good for acid reflux, for anything that's coming from the stomach in the wrong direction, for descending food. And then let's just come out to the rib cage. So track your rib cage around and put your hands at the what you can feel to be the base of your ribs here. Two key points there: cedar gate, another gate, and cyclic gate. So there's gates here into, this time, the inner body, the liver. And this is good for the connection between the liver and the bowel, the particular valve that runs from the liver to the bowel. So it's for emptying out toxins. So just a little bit of movement around the base of the rib cage there. You can still feel, you still feel damp. If there's damp in the body, phlegm, you might still feel that moving around. So two gates there. Let's move again in a downward direction and focus on the knees. So give the knees a good massage. Once again, tuning into the luxury of that, if you like, skin against skin, saying thank you to the knees. And at the back of the knees, in the centre, so you imagine the crease there at the back, and in the centre is a point called bend in the middle. In translation, that's what it's called. And if you put your fingers there, hold for a moment, move forward a little bit, so the head is in the middle, so you get a triangle, head, knee, knee. Stop there for a moment. And this is good for clearing the head. Once again, bringing the energy down from the head. Great if you've got a headache. The chi from around the knees, which is related to the kidneys and actually the brain as well. Pulling excess chi and toxins down from the head. Let's go out now to the outside of the knees and down a little bit. Again, no need to be specific. A little bit of massage around there. We have a point which in translation is called third foot or third leg. We can do some tapping around there as well. And this is said to be the point that was needled when Chinese armies needed to march just a little bit further. So it stimulates the yang of the body, the action impulse in the body. And conversely, on the opposite side, you'll feel a little valley there, or a hollow underneath the knee on the inside. And if we just hold that for a moment, press the big toe down as well. That's often good to activate. We have Yin Valley. So here we're activating the more restful, earthy energy of the body. And obviously in personal prescriptions would be going for balance. So if there was a particular problem, we'd be using these points and sites and more of them on an individual basis, but this is very general, a very earthy site to hold, Yin Valley. Okay, relaxing just a moment. We're going to now use one foot to massage the other. So just see what the possibilities are with that first of all, as a warm-up, and then tune into how nice that is, hopefully. See how many places that you can get. The knuckle of the big toe is often a really good one, and the heel is good as well on the top of the foot. See that you can get round the back as well. And then we have some lovely names which I'll go through. So the landscape of the foot is really poetic. So on the inside ankle bone, if you know Chinese medicine, around the kidney points, there's great ravine. So we tend to get quite watery in the landscape here. Great ravine on the inside. Very good for lower back issues. Let's do it both sides. And then on the outside we've got a mountain, so more yang. So Kunlan Mountains are on the outside ankle bone and around there. So we have yin and yang conditions of the lower back. So we're being, again, very general, but personal prescriptions would highlight one or the other. And then we have right on the top of the foot, the highest point on the top of the foot is called Greater Yang. So here's a yang, it's a stomach point. Good for digestion. Good for stimulating the yang digestive energy. And stopping for a moment, just enjoying the sensation that you've created throughout the body, throughout the feet. Feeling the feet on the floor, pressing the big toe down, also the outside edge of the foot down, and imagining a point called Bubbling Spring, which is a third of the way back from the tips of the toes, on the centre line of the sole of the foot. So in other words, it's behind the ball of the foot. Bubbling spring, your connection through the feet to the energy of the earth. And then if it's comfortable for you, gently lean over and hold all the toes if you can, or wherever you can get to, just to stretch out the lower back. And then gently come up and sweep the hands up, keeping the shoulders down, just open the arms up in an upward position, just breathing, allowing the lungs to go into to come into a different position. Sweep the hands down again and come to the back of the waist, the kidney area. Let's do a little bit of a smile to the kidneys, an internal smile to those little organs working away, balancing the fluid of the bodies. And then stopping for a moment once again, just feeling into the sensation, the calm that we've created in the body, the whole landscape now alive. And then I'm going to take you through some facial points as well. And for that, I'm going to move nearer to the screen. And so let's do some points for the eyes. So in the very inner canthus, the very inner point of the eyes, just hold very, very gently, is the start of the bladder channel. Stretch the neck out a bit as well at the back to allow the optic nerves to get stretched and a good passageway through. Literally called bright eyes. And then if you move up, you'll find a little notch underneath the inside of the eyebrows. And just let your thumbs rest there, relax. The shoulders. And this is a really good point for stimulating the chi of the eyes. And see if you want to hold or massage. Just try both. And then using the middle finger in the middle of the brow, above the brow. There we go. Is another eye chi point. Some of these might be a little bit painful or achy. Again, see if you want to hold or move. Moving out to the temples now. Yeah, so giving those one way and then the other way. And then the outer canthus of the eye, so that's best to hold, just hold there. Either close your eyes or look downwards. And then coming straight down from, if you're looking forward, straight down from the pupils of the eyes to underneath the cheekbone. Here's a really lovely point on the stomach channel for worry, actually for overthinking. Just see if it needs massaging. It's also the emotional freedom technique point for tapping, if you know that methodology. And then I'd like just to finish by crossing the hands over this hollow here in between the collarbones. Just cross the hands gently over there. This is an area called Celestial Chimney. And many of the points around the head and the back of the neck have the word celestial. So we're in the sky now. Just repeat the word content, contentment. And then a little bit of holding of the lower belly as well. Just rest your hands on the lower belly. Feel once again the tailbone or sitting bone, sitting where you're sitting. Allow the body to bring you into the presence of life, the present moment. Blessings on your day. Thank you for joining me.